Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? I'm glad to be back. Although the retreat slash teacher training was truly wonderful, it was a lot of hard emotional and physical work because it involved a lot of meditation, long hours. And also, when you are training to be a teacher, you also are going through a lot of exercises yourself, which can open you up. And everybody in the retreat was really open, and as a result there was a lot of discussion about emotional issues, feeling, thinking, and in that sense there was a lot of work, but it was really all worth it. This teachers training was for teachers of mindful self-compassion, which, as I have said before, is a very rising field, relatively new, as in the research has been around for only a few years. And suddenly there is a lot of interest in self-compassion because, as opposed to self-esteem or self-love, self-compassion can give you similar kinds of results of higher motivation, self-soothing, but not the danger of narcissism, which high self-esteem sometimes can generate. It's the me kind of a feeling that sometimes self-esteem generates. Also, high self-esteem a lot of times makes us feel like we have to be above average. Everybody needs to be above average, somebody special. And as you can imagine, how can everybody be above average? So the ones who are not, they don't meet their own expectations or the expectations of their surroundings, and that can create anxiety and depression. When that happens, self-compassion is a very useful self-soothing tool. Even otherwise, if you can motivate yourself by being kind to yourself, by offering good understanding to yourself, it's supposed to work better. Also, it generates resilience. When something goes wrong, you're more likely to spring up from it. But more about that later. Today's session is not just about self compassion. I had asked you all a question, and the question is kind of a related question, that we all want to belong, but at the same time, we all want to be special. Is this really true? That's what I had asked. Um, One of the campers replied back saying, I'm not sure if it is really true. And what she said, this is Mei Feng Sung. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. What she said is interesting. She said that it's not so much with that we want to belong and at the same time we want to be special. She says that what we want is we want to be ourselves, and we want to be accepted for who we are. And when that happens, we feel special. And to be able to tolerate others, to offer the same kind of acceptance to others, is what is the right thing to do from our point of view. And I agree with her, that's true as well. So all these different things that we are talking about, we have a need to belong, we have a need to be loved, we have, at the same time, we may or may not have need to be special. Our need to be special may be geared towards more external achievement, or what the camper said, it's not so much external, she's talking about the internal self-acceptance. So that's why I thought I called my session today self acceptance. Since we are talking about harmony and peace as one of the quests, and we said that the things that come in its way, one thing was anger, the other thing I'm saying, non self acceptance. And what I mean by that is the following: all this kind of falls together of all these ideas of self-compassion, self-esteem, self-acceptance, and at the same time anti that which is constantly struggling with yourself. And another thing that can come up is jealousy. So jealousy is also largely about comparison. The comparison could be social comparison. When someone else gets something that we want for ourselves, or we may feel we deserve, or we just feel like we need something to happen good to happen to us, and when we see someone else getting that, we can feel jealous. What's the purpose of jealousy? All these negative feelings do have some purpose. The purpose of jealousy may be, evolutionarily speaking, it may be to motivate ourselves to get something, or maybe when the resources are limited, we want to grab the resource for ourselves for the sake of survival. And for that purpose, to have jealousy kind of burns us, and it can make us go for what we want. But again, as is the case for a lot of these negative feelings, when we live in today's world, the question is, do we really need jealousy, or whatever effects we want of jealousy? Can we get those things like resources for ourselves, or whatever the happiness is for ourselves, without having to grab it from the other person, or without having to burn ourselves with jealousy? So, jealousy, one thing we have to realize about it is that just because somebody else got it doesn't mean we cannot get it. If you're thinking of something specific, like this particular award, he got it, so I won't be the first one. I'm not talking about these specific events, but overall, what we want is a sense of happiness, a sense of being happy with what we have, not complacent. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything about what you want. In fact, it's quite the opposite. With self acceptance, it's easier to move more towards whatever you want without the desperation, without the burning of ourselves. I heard a really nice phrase last week, which was anger or all these negative emotions, they are like poison that corrodes the vessel. So if we hold this poison in us, it corrodes us. And for that reason, self acceptance would be one of the important ingredients. So will be sympathetic joy, like taking true joy when somebody else does something good, or if they get something. Think about it. Next time when you feel jealous, look at the other person and see if you can feel true sympathetic joy. At the same time, acceptance of what you have, knowing what you would like to have, and to say that without desperation, I will keep moving towards it. Our quest, the quest in itself, is not something we are desperately going towards. Just remember that. More intensely you feel, I must have it, it tends to run away from it. And this is also shown by research. There was an interesting paper by a researcher called Moss that was published in 2012. This was in the area of happiness research, and she found out, based on self reports and all these kinds of things, that people who have some goal, like they want to be happy desperately, they make that into like, I must be happy. In fact, they become lonelier. So that's an interesting finding. So when you move towards happiness, remember, it's not a goal of life in itself. It's something you want, and you want to move it with non towards it with non-attachment. So one of the things I would like to talk about today, or have talked about today, or proposed today, is self-acceptance. Now, I'm curious to know what self-acceptance means to different people. Accepting ourselves, but it is really something that needs to be looked at when it comes to specific things, to really accept, I am fine the way I am. I accept myself the way I am. Whatever is happening to me right now, even if you are in pain, you are in suffering, which doesn't feel good, it's unpleasant. But the shame or the guilt or the restlessness, I am okay the way I am. I am doing my best, and I will do my best, but I'm fine. This feeling, let's see if we can get towards it through meditation. I have my morning cup of tea. I wonder if some of you have your morning or night cup of tea, depending upon wherever you are. And I'm going to get rid of this bottom thing here. Okay. So first, a couple of sips of mindful tea. And while you are drinking this tea, you can close your eyes or open your eyes depending upon what sense you are paying attention to. Total focus, attending to the tea. Get more gone. And now close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out and pay attention to your breath. Here and now, how the breath feels like in my body. And at this point, scan your entire body in your own mind and see which part of your body grabs your attention. It could be your tummy, or if there's any backache, maybe it could be backache. If your shoulders are tight, it could be shoulders. If there's any pain and ache anywhere, it could be that part. And now pay attention to that part of your body. And if there is any discomfort or pain or anything of that sort, just gently attend to it and see if you can just accept it the way it is. Total acceptance. And see when you say that, what all arises in your mind. Just pay attention to what arises in your mind. What thoughts and feelings arise in your mind when you attend to a certain part of your body, and when you say, I'll find out what's happening here, and I totally accept whatever is going on there, whatever it feels like over there. When you say that, what feelings and thoughts arise, just simply pay attention to it. If your mind is wandering around, bring it back and gently, without any struggle, just pay attention with curiosity to any part of your body where your attention goes, and offer total acceptance of whatever you feel over there, and pay attention to what thoughts and feelings arise. Bring your mind back to the body. See where your attention goes. And see if you can offer total acceptance to this part of the body. And see what arises in your mind, feelings and thoughts, because of saying, I offer my total acceptance to you. And now place your hand on your heart area. And allow you to pay attention to where you are right now in your mind, what state of mind you are in at this moment. Are you happy, content, feeling okay, joy? Or is there anything else that's occupying your mind at this point? Any issue, any struggle, any negative feeling? That's another possibility. Just see where you are right now. Put that in words in your mind. And just remember, you're simply observing the positive or the negative feelings. You're simply observing. Hmm, that's what's going on with me at this point. And I offer my total acceptance. That is what it is. No more, no less. And I totally accept it. Self acceptance. That's the way I'm feeling right now. And I'm okay. At this moment, you're not struggling to change it. You're not trying to look for a solution. Neither are you going to get so immersed if it is a negative feeling, but you're just simply going to observe it and accept it. And so will you do with positive feelings. If there is joy, contentment, any wonderful, amazing feeling, just allow yourself to experience it in the observing mode. That's the way I'm feeling right now. And that's it. This is the moment of joy. I accept myself the way I am. This is what's happening right now. I can see that. And that's the way it is. And now come back to your breath, paying attention to the breath. Again, the center of our existence. Breathing in and breathing out. And now say the line 3 times. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. And now I'm going to hang out here for a little bit longer to see if you have any questions. Um, it takes a little bit of a time for questions to show up here. So I'll wait. Any comments or any questions? Meanwhile, I just want to say that self-acceptance can be hard for some people. Some people may think that, hey, that's the way I always feel, typically feel. Some people may have some restless moments. It may not be a total state of non-acceptance of oneself all the time, but from time to time, there may be like, I really don't like this about myself, or self-criticism or self-blame. And as I said, sometimes jealousy. And jealousy is another way which will generate some kind of social comparison. And I want to become better, or I want to achieve something for the sake of my surrounding, or I need to be special. All these kinds of feelings. Just think about it. And I would love to hear from you in case if you have any comments or any experience. Some of you have sent me some comments about anger. and most of them I have replied back, but some emails where I needed a little bit of a time to respond back, I may not have replied, and it's been very busy times, but I will try to reply it in next couple of days for sure to those people. In addition, if you have any thoughts about this idea of self-acceptance, if anything comes in your way of self-acceptance, think about it, and if you want, you can write me an email. If there is any jealousy or self or social comparison that comes in your way, think about it and see if you can practice sympathetic joy as well as accepting where you are in a true sense. Sometimes you may have fear about what self acceptance means, such as it may mean that you won't try to change things. It may mean that you will just be where you are and not try to improve. But believe me, self acceptance does not mean any of these things. In fact, what happens is you will be able to change whatever you want without the usual anxiety and restlessness that you may feel. When you actually meditate over self acceptance, you will have a better feeling of improving that whatever it is that you want. In fact, then you can focus on what you like to do as opposed to wanting to be somewhere or be somebody. Maroon says thank you. Um, you're welcome. And I don't see any other questions at this point. So I am going to say bye to you at right now. And if there is any question, you know my email, to meditatetogether@gmail.com. LK says, thank you. You found it very helpful. I'm glad. And one more time, anything, keep kind of let it stay with you, this idea. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a time to actually reach a true point of accepting whatever is going on without any story. Just this is what it is, radically accepting, and then see where all that goes. Okay, and I will see you guys next time, next Thursday, and you will hear from me on the email also. Bye for now.